There we go. We're live. Good morning, everybody. As I get untangled here, thanks for tuning in. If you are joining us live, welcome. If this is your first time here, don't be afraid to say hi. Good group of Canadian investors, the coffee crew, as they roll in. If you're watching on the replay, we go live Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock Pacific time to about 8:45. Good to have you join on live. But as always, as I say, the replay is always on the channel. So if you're watching the replay, hello, say hi on the replay, leave a comment as well. And don't forget to hit the like button on your way in, everybody, as we come in here. So let's see who's here. I was good. I beat Candace today, but I do have a bit of advantage because it is my channel. But I logged onto my computer early this morning, and I beat her here. There we go. But good morning, Candace. Good to have you here as always. Hopefully you're starting to feel better. I think you're starting to get on the mend. So hopefully everything is slowly but surely getting on the go. Need coffee today. Hump day with work. Let's do your joke. I'm a first-time investor. I think a lot of us are. Why do first-time investors make excellent comedians? Because they always know how to turn a quick profit into a hilarious loss. Well, not so hilarious, but we're good at doing. We're good at picking some wrong. We're definitely good. We're definitely good at picking wrong ones. But you have to learn. Right? We say it all the time. You learn from your mistakes, and you always learn the hard way. Learning, you have to get better at taking your money and running sometimes. But all true. Stan, good morning. Good to have you here. Always good. Hopefully you're well. And MC, first thing in the morning. Good to have you here as well. And Frosty Fire back again. There we go. Awesome. Welcome. I like that icon, the duck. And morning, Rod. Haven't seen you for a bit. I've seen your comments on the channel, but haven't caught you in a live. So welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. Hope must be keeping busy with work. As we don't see people sometimes, we just know they're working. So that's always a good thing. But thanks for taking the time out of your morning to drop in. And we go. I guess first question. I haven't seen you for a bit, Rod. Any new? I know you'd left a couple comments on the page. Any new? I think you'd mentioned you were selling some of your positions off, just holding it in cash for a little bit. Let us know how that's going. It's always interesting to hear what other people are doing. On that note, luxury techno. Good to have you here. I think it's your first time. Welcome. Good morning. Let us know how your investments are doing. It's always good. No new changes for me on the portfolio. As always, channel members know if I buy or sell anything. So nothing done. I let that out on the live stream. But waiting. I'm waiting. I've got a deposit going in. So there'll be some changes. There'll definitely be some changes. Talked about it yesterday a little bit, but just waiting for that to kind of get over into the TFSA. So that will be there soon enough. And so your work, listen to the background. That's awesome. Put it on. Maybe makes the time go by. I don't know, faster, slower. I don't know. But good to have you here. It's always good. I think that's what a lot of people do with the live stream. They kind of just put it. If they're working, especially if they're maybe at home in front of the computer. I know Candace does. Her work is trading, but she kind of just has things in the background. Lets the time kind of fly and pops in every once in a while with a comment. So all good. It's all good. However people watch. Good call there. I'm not sure of that one. TRVI. Let's look that one up. Luxury techno. Somebody might in the chat know that one. I am not too sure of it. Let me just move my mic here. Let's look it up. We'll just see it in Google here first. TRVI. Trevi. Yeah. I'm gonna think. Is it? Trevi Therapeutics, or is it the ETF, Harvest Travel and Leisure Income ETF? That's an interesting one. You always find these crazy. You never would think there's a travel and leisure income ETF, but I guess there is. Let me know. Let me know in the comment, luxury techno, if I've got the right one. Let's just pull this up so you can see. And I'm not aware of it. Oh, the ETF. Okay, well, I've got the wrong one. Interesting. That one did pop up. Harvest Travel and Leisure Income ETF. That one looks interesting, actually. I don't own it in mine. Maybe someone else on the chat can give some feedback on that. I never have heard of this. Let's find out who the. I guess we'll find out what the holdings are in this. I'm gonna guess it's like lots of hotels and stuff like that. Harvest. So it's a new, oh, it's fairly new. Okay, interesting. Let's try and find this Harvest ETF. Bear with me here. There it is. Harvest announces Harvest Travel Leisure ETF. Super interesting. Filed this. It doesn't show who's in it. Let's find it. It's always hard to find travel leisure ETF. It's sometimes the pages I find on ETF, like investment companies' websites, can be super hard to understand. Number of equities, 30 equities. Okay, so it's like hotels, Airbnb, all that kind of stuff. Interesting. Hopefully you can see this okay. So main holdings, 10% is Booking Holdings Incorporated, Airbnb, Marriott Hotels, Hilton Hotels, VICI Properties. I'm guessing that's looks like a REIT, must be a hotel REIT or something like that. Delta Airlines, Las Vegas Sands, Southwest Airlines, Sun Communities. That must be a single family residential REIT. Interesting. Expedia. So these are all kind of things you've heard. Royal Caribbean. So lots of like obviously travel makes sense. Travel, Hyatt Hotels, a lot of the hotel companies, Vail Resorts, Caesars Entertainment, Carnival Corp, cruise ships. So there's 30 holdings. Interesting. All the cruise looks like a lot of the cruise lines. Norwegian Cruise Line does have Air Canada in there, so Canadian. Yeah, interesting. Small possessions on that. Majority is kind of Airbnb and Booking Holdings. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen. I have never seen that one. You know what I'm going to do though? I will add that luxury techno to the. I will add that over to the watch list. Just to follow it, because we've got a one with all the kind of stocks and ETF. Did that even add? Hold on here. Sometimes this is kind of wonky. Let's add it this way. There we go. Okay, and we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, haven't always find something new. That's the crazy thing. So yeah, not sure what it is. There we go. MC is the MC kind of MC knows I want to say MC knows everything, but not sure what it is. But interestingly, airlines and theme parks haven't been particularly performing well. You'd think they would be, but no. And travel is busy, right? Like that's the thing. I mean, MC, you were just away. You were just away on vacation. It seems like on my Instagram, all my friends are on a trip, on a vacation somewhere. I have friends that still work in travel, and they're super busy. But yeah, it's interesting how they haven't done. I mean, I don't follow a lot of the companies. I mean, I followed Air Canada a little bit. Air Canada just never really has done that great after 2020. But it seems like a lot of them maybe starting to come back a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. So you're planning to buy some of it? Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously do your research, look into it. I mean, it looks like I mean the companies in there are well known, so it's one of those ones though. You look, I guess the big thing is check the weightings of it, because it doesn't have a lot of holdings, just 30 holdings, which isn't that large. And check the main ones out, because the main ones you might just benefit of buying them individually. Possibly instead, because 10% is a pretty heavy weighting for the top two, taking up 20% of that ETF. But yeah, interesting how it goes. And Vic is here. Good morning. Yeah, guess who bought FRC? I was going to bring that up this morning as well. I think if people watching the news, Vic, FRC down in the States, the regional banks, another regional bank down in the States, they had deposit outflows of about $100 billion last month, just over $100 billion. So their stock, yeah, not doing good at all. It was down substantially yesterday, and then today it's down another 23%. It was down to about 30% at one point today, and yesterday it was down. I think it was down like close to 40% or something like that. FRC would show actually in Google better. yeah, down 55% in the past 5 days. So that's not good. There'd probably be so you bought it. Who? I mean, Vic. I don't know when you bought it, but I mean, if I think there's obviously going to be they're probably obviously probably going to be trying to sell this, or I mean, I heard some kind of reports on Twitter that the government will be taking it, kind of stepping in with FDIC, over probably, I think if anything happens, maybe over the weekend or the next few days, we'll maybe know more. But yeah, it's still interesting times down there. Thought you'd do a quick play, but got screwed. Yeah, that's unfortunate. These things are risky, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. And yeah, you can only kind of blame, I guess, everybody. Do your research on stuff, and if you know it's this stuff like that's a gamble, right? But who knows? I mean, if it's hard to really tell what the heck is going to happen. Obviously, if it might go up if a buyer steps in, but from what I was reading about it, it's much like the same with I guess with Silicon Valley Bank, is there a lot of like unrealized losses on their books. So whoever buys it is buying into all those unrealized losses as well. But yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, it happens from time to time. Yeah, and you obviously we talk about it a little bit. Don't put all of your eggs and don't go all in on something. But if you think you want to if you have some extra available that you can afford to lose, right, then take a gamble sometimes. That's what kind of makes investing fun a little bit too, is to take those risks with a small little bit. Don't do anything like on leverage or anything like that. Just with maybe you had some extra profit somewhere else that you wanted to put a small bit just to see. But it's unfortunate. Yeah. Falling knives are hard to catch. Yeah, definitely beyond my scope of when I'm wanting to watch it. And when it gets to this point, right, MC, it's kind of like you probably just want to stay right away. If you really don't know what you're doing, you probably just want to steer clear. You'd be better off putting it into one of your core investments, I think, instead, for the long term, instead of trying to play these crazy, volatile, ugly looking situations. So yeah, good call. That's good. That's some good tips, MC. Common rule: call the 3-day rule. Wait 3 days for the market to exhaust and digest any news. Yeah, that's the big thing. Because sometimes, I mean, things can maybe today. I mean, it could be just a major overreaction. But again, and then we can revisit this topic on Friday. We'll revisit it in 3 days on Friday and see what the heck is actually happening. Because it just takes time to work itself out, to see what the heck is going to happen with any kind of news, for sure. It can go the flip side, right? You probably don't want to buy into a bunch of stuff when it's going. I mean, this is what happens, right? People have the FOMO goes the other way, right? And you jump into things that are going up when you probably shouldn't be either. So makes sense. That's some good advice there. Take a 3-day rule if you're thinking of doing something. I know one thing that I notice in Wealthsimple, if you're trying to trade a security that if there's been certain price fluctuations over the last like week or so, I think it is, it will warn you before you trade. It'll kind of give you pop up a warning like, hey, this is a volatile share. It'll probably actually, if I actually look at FRC, I can actually probably pull this up and see. It will probably mention if I go and try to buy it. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see this, but it'll actually pop up. It'll say, there we go. FRC is currently very, very volatile. So it basically mentions like, they identify a stock that is very volatile when there's been a large single day movement of more than 40% in the past 14 days. So just basically asks, for you to understand before you trade it. So it gives you a little bit of a buffer there. So probably best to avoid if you don't know what you're doing. So. I think today I read it about it. I guess it would have been Monday. I kind of saw something on Twitter that mentioned that Fox News had reported that the FDIC is going to be stepping into First Republic because the news came out that they were they had those deposit outflows. So that's what kind of hit. So the news must have hit. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like Monday after the market closed, yesterday there was a big drop, and then today again it's kind of still digesting and down quite substantially. So it's it's interesting times out there for sure. It's the one benefit, at least for my portfolio, when these when these banks are in bad situations, the price of Bitcoin always goes up, and today Bitcoin up quite substantially. So that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of nice. If you invest in other things, it was a bit of a when I woke up this morning, I was like, whoa, that's must be something going on, because if Bitcoin goes up, 8, 9, 10% in a day really quickly, there's obviously something else happening on the flip side of that. That's not that's ugly, which looks like First Republic Bank today. So, Jerksy Beef, good morning. Oops, I think I pulled your comment up. Put it down. There we go. Welcome. Good to have you here. We were just talking about FRC, but beforehand, and Jerksy we had a new visitor, and maybe if you didn't catch it, Luxury Techno was asking about the ETF. It was the travel and luxury ETF. So it called TRVL. I wonder if you've heard of that. Leave a comment. No one owns that yet, and they were thinking of buying it. So just kind of wondering if you've heard of it or have looked at it. You might also want to look over on Luxury Techno. Actually thinking of that, you might actually want to go over on Blossom and see if anybody holds it there, and just see what's kind of happening. There might be a few people over there that maybe have it or know a good group of Canadian investors over there. It's a good place to lurk. I don't post much over there, but I definitely kind of scroll through and read what some people are posting. There's some smart people there too, which is good. Yeah, there we go. That was the FRC was the news I had. So if anybody else obviously has anything in particular that they have on their mind, fire it up in the chat, and we'd be happy to see what was on your mind, and we'll answer your questions. On that note of Bitcoin, as everybody knows, I have ShakePay, and I've been shaking diligently every day, and I just passed my 500th shake day in a row. So don't want to jinx it, but 500 days. So it's going. You get 1,000 satoshis a day, which is it's roughly about 40 cents or so, but yeah, kind of meet that milestone. They don't send you anything they don't send you any kind of prize or anything for 500, but I think when you hit 1,000 days, they send you some kind of special merch or something like that. So we'll see if I can get to. Seems like a long way away. I have a feeling I might. It's tough. Yeah, 500. It's almost like an addiction now, because you don't want to lose it, Candace. Because if I do lose it, I probably won't necessarily be as diligent to start again. And I'm kind of past the point of not wanting to return to the beginning. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I still use it for my day-to-day. I use it for the card that's on it. It has the Visa prepaid card, which you get 1% cash back on Bitcoin, which is kind of handy. So I use that for when I'm out buying coffee or something like that. Just use it for spending money, and it just adds up, and then I fire it over to my wallet. So I don't know if you're still doing your ShakePay at all, Candace. I don't think you have any Bitcoin anymore. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a few people that watch that have some crypto, and there's a few people I know I know a few people on Blossom have that BTCY on there. So the app that paid you for walking, I'm not sure what that one is. Not sure what that is. Did they pay you in Bitcoin for walking? Masterworks is another scam. I'm not sure of that one as well. I've never heard of that. The only other one I use, I have a podcast program, Vic, it's called Fountain, and it has podcasts, and it streams like small amounts of Bitcoin to you as you listen to the podcast. But you can also, because advertisers pay it, right? And there's advertised podcasts. You get streamed Bitcoin for an hour a day, and there's different rates each day it kind of varies. But you can also set it up so if you enjoy a certain podcast or a certain person that has their podcast on the Fountain, you can stream to them, like, so each minute you listen to, you can stream them as Satoshi, so it kind of helps support the creators of it. So kind of interesting, those like little micro payments. It's basically the best way to kind of explain what Fountain is, and it has a Lightning wallet on it that you can transfer off onto your own Lightning wallet afterwards. So seems to work okay. It's kind of fun, but I haven't heard of those other ones, Vic. Probably if you say I trust you, I say if they're not the greatest, I trust your judgment there. CNR dropping, no idea. Candace, you can tune in, you can chime in for that one. I do not own CNR. Yeah, I haven't looked at that today. We could look at that, Vic, if you want. We could look at that one. CNR, what the heck is happening? Did they have they must have had their earnings out, I'm gonna guess, Vic. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Record first quarter revenues, but that was price skated despite upbeat in earnings. There we go. I don't know. Sometimes they just don't. They make money, but they don't make enough money. And it's sometimes baffling what the heck is sometimes happening with certain companies. So it's hard. Drixie, I haven't, and travel is too risky for me to invest in. Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, I see. I know what you mean. I mean, I think the margins on travel are very slim a lot of times for companies. There's things that can impact them as oil, like obviously with airlines, it's price of fuel. I mean, I think we're past the time of restrictions and stuff like that in terms of travel. But I mean, that could, who knows, something could happen that causes a drop in travel. Also, I mean, things happening geopolitically, right? With what's going on in Ukraine, that's obviously impacting travel to possibly parts of Europe, and what the heck is going on with with China, with all, with there's a whole bunch of reasons that can definitely impact travel, but also too, obviously the cost of everything, right? Inflation is you wouldn't know it from all the people I see and know that have gone on vacation possibly, but it's the type of thing that is obviously, a lot of it is discretionary, right? So if we're in a recession, or we going into a recession, those are the kind of things that people will generally pull back on. But those are also the things that people will generally put on credit. So it's kind of like, it kind of goes, it's not it's hard to kind of know what the heck is, there's so many things that can impact travel. I mean, things like, there's just so many kind of things that can do this stuff. I think travel, it is capital, like planes, everything else, right? It's crazy what it takes to operate these things. And yeah, you were just on vacation, right? Trying to figure out how much the cost of running a resort is, between the labor, between the food, the hotel, the maintenance, the everything on there. And if you think about it, like, the cost to actually go on a vacation is actually really cheap. I mean, where you can get a decent, let's just say, as round numbers, you can obviously find cheaper and more expensive and everything else, but a lot of times you can find a week away with a flight, hotel, your food, alcohol if you have all inclusive and stuff like that for a week, that is like, let's just say a couple $1,000s a person for a decent, you can find ones that are more, some of the less, but if you think about it, you're going somewhere for a week, you have the flight, you're flying hundreds of kilometers, it transfers to the resorts, all this stuff included. It's actually, the margins that they must make on some of this stuff is just, it's super, super slim, and it's just numbers, getting people, getting butts in the seats, which is, the resort stuff can be definitely hard. I know from working in the hotel industry, right? When like the cost of food and you're watching, like, the margins are very slim for a lot of stuff, and you need people in the rooms, right? And sometimes that's hard to do, but it does make completely certain sense there. Yeah, it is more expensive, obviously, to go to a first world country, like if you're taking a European vacation, depending where you're going, right? But yeah, that makes sense, actually, because I mean, we were talking about the other day when I went to Yellowknife, and I spent like kind of a long weekend there, 3 nights, 4 days, and like the cost of that trip was more than taking a week to go to Mexico somewhere, for example. So yeah, I agree with that. It is true. We're fortunate living where we live that we can, we take advantage of these other places that are where things are cheaper, labor wise, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I agree. Oh, you got an ad, Vic. I don't know if everybody gets. I don't know how that works, but thanks for watching. I think Google, when you turn them on, Vic, like, I have to turn them either on or off for the video, and when I post it, it gets turned on, and I think YouTube does its thing. I don't click anything, or my hands are tied. So thanks for supporting. Yeah. Yeah, no, there is. Yeah, there's no. That's right. First world to first world. I mean, look at going to the States. Try and go to Disneyland. It costs you an arm and a leg to go to the happiest place on earth. And it's true. That's why I think a lot of people end up going away to these, sun destinations, and like you were in. I think it was. Was it Dominican? I think you were in Dominican Republic, or Mexico, or Cuba is popular. That's where you kind of your money will go further. It's and some nice places. Cuba I was in Cuba years and years and years ago when I was in my early 20s, with a couple friends. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun in Cuba. The resort was terrible. The food wasn't the greatest. Beaches were really nice though, and the tours and stuff you could do were really good. That's somewhere I would go back again, actually. Havana, super interesting. Yeah, we did all the touristy stuff. Yeah, but cheap, cheap to go some of these places. That's for sure. That is for sure. There we go. Let me see if I didn't make any. I missed some comment. One sec, I did miss one of your comments there, Jerksy. Yeah, it looks like we are. I mean, it's earnings. All the earnings are kind of coming out. Some of them are doing okay. Like Google looks like it's doing okay, and Microsoft looks like it's doing okay. So some of the tech stuff doing decent. But yeah, I think we're in that time. A little bit of red, but hey, if it's long term, this is just I think a kind of a blip in the, hopefully, and just carry on. Maybe look at it as some opportunity. The one thing I did notice, that's, we were talking about falling knives earlier, is, well, Tesla not doing that great, but not able to add any more to that right now. But that's something I would probably be adding more to. Not financial advice, obviously, but I'll kind of look at that in the next a few days as well, if I'm able to add a little bit to that position, because that's kind of a long term hold that I want to start to build up as well. So. Oh, you were Montego Bay. That was right, Jamaica. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've never been to Jamaica. I had the opportunity, but it just wasn't able to go at the time. Being to Cuba. Cuba is, yeah, Havana's beautiful. I was there. Oh, geez. It would have been when was I there? It was a long time ago, probably like 19 in the late 90s. Probably. How old would I have been? 20. Go probably long. Yeah, mid 90, probably 98 or 99. I think I was there. I'd have to go back and look at like well, no, I know it's before I had digital. There was there was yeah, it would have been 90s because I think the pictures I have aren't even digital. They're like film camera. But beautiful, nice snorkeling there. But Havana was really neat. I would go back if I was to go back. MC, I would spend if I was to go back for a week. I would probably spend a good half, at least half of it, in try and stay in Havana. Be great. Now that I'm more into taking pictures and everything else, I think that would be a lot of it would be an interesting place to go. The capital there. But we did all the tourist tourist stuff at with the was it Victory is it Victory Square they call it, with where Castro used to do his big things. And yeah, it was good. And yeah, yeah, I actually used to. I have to pull those pictures up, Vic. I used to. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I actually did. It was short though. I've always had short hair. Yeah, we had dinner as part of the tour, and it's not the old historic. Well, everything's kind of historic because it's like back from from the 50s, right? It's like a time warp. But the Havana Hilton was interesting. So we had coffee and afternoon kind of like hangout in the Havana Hilton, and then had dinner there, but took a walk around because close by was I forget what the hotel was, but it's the old one, that's the real old one that's there. I can't remember the name of it. And it's like the it's like the oldest one that's kind of in that hotel zone. And we had went to the pool there, had drinks, and also kind of just hung around. So it was good. It was fun. They treat tourists really well there. That's for sure. In Cuba, everybody really friendly. At least it was when I went. I can't assume it necessarily changing. Treat tourists really friendly. You can go to all the hotels and go to the lounges without any no issues, that kind of stuff. And it was they're definitely really welcoming. Yeah, the Havana Hilton was neat because they had pictures from like the opening of it, kind of hanging up on the walls, and it was literally exactly the same. The furniture was still there, the same exact furniture. Some of the cushions were missing cushions. And also went to the Hemingway Hotel. Everybody's in the lobbies in the front of it, the bar, smoking cigars. It was neat. It's a neat experience. So, and you were there too. Yeah, it is expensive, and I always found it interesting because I remember we went to that historic hotel and had a drink, and you would think, because of course it's like if it's a communist country, the prices and everything is state owned. The prices should be you'd think the prices were the same everywhere, but like the beer was like double or triple the price that you could get it across the street at a regular restaurant and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny, but go figure. Yeah, that was probably the one. MC is probably the same. I think a lot of probably people go there. It's on the tour route up. There's like there's a garden in front and a long driveway, and all the old cars are parked in front of the taxis and stuff, all shiny. Let me look. Let me just Google it quickly. It's on the tip of my. The Hotel Nacional. The Hotel Nacional Cuba. Historical. Yeah, that's the one. Let's pull this up. It's this one. Yeah, Hotel Nacional. This one. Probably the same one. We sat in went to the pool, and then we also sat in the little courtyard in behind. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I found that too. We took a tour, and actually the food was really good. We went to this little restaurant. I mean, I can't. This is so long ago, but I remember. You remember how funny I remember this food, because the food in the resort was kind of like, but we went to a restaurant, and it was because the buildings, the way they're shaped, they all have like kind of inner courtyards, and it was some restaurant that was built in like this inner courtyard of these old buildings. You kind of walk through a little tunnel, and it was like this open air restaurant, and had this rice and chicken, and it was it was the food was really good. Um, I don't remember I can't remember what it cost. I know we paid for, it was like a whole tour that we did for the whole day with the three of us that went. I can't remember how much it even cost back then. But it included like the lunch and tours of all these places. And then we went to I think it's like the typical tourist thing. And then we went all around Havana. It had the lunch. We did all the tours, walking tour of Havana as well. And then we had dinner, and then we had free time, and you had like a room that you could, like a day room, so you could kind of have a shower and everything else and get changed. And then we went to the Tropicana show, which they have on there, which was kind of neat too. And of course, you have just too much rum throughout the day. They literally give you like, I think it's at the Tropicana show was like unlimited rum essentially. So you'd have rum and Coke, which is not my favorite drink, but yeah. Well, I don't drink anymore anyways, but back then I did. Yeah, it had the old elevators. All the lobby was all the old wood and everything else. It's like a time, like it's like you're in a time. If anybody hasn't gone, it's like you're in a time warp. It's pretty interesting, really really interesting. It's pretty amazing place to go. Yeah, yeah. I would go, that's one place. That's one place I would go. I would go back to. So yeah, there we go. These kind of always go fun. I will. Sorry, I'm just clicking away here. There we go. If you have any last minute questions, let me know, because we're kind of coming up to about 8:40 right now. It's always good. These are always kind of fun to jump onto. We talked a little about investing, and I love how they get sidetracked to some other topic as as Luxury Techno asked about a travel ETF, and we get talking about vacations, and this is what makes these things fun. It's always kind of fun. You always kind of learn something new. I had no idea about that ETF, and we go on a tangent about having some fun on vacation and old vacations from years past. I'll have to dig up some of those pictures and try and see if I can find them somewhere from those old ones. It's always good. But other than that, that is all I had. Updates portfolio. I will not be filming a video right away for the portfolio. I'm still waiting, like I said, for some money to transfer over, and I'm kind of changing things up a little bit, but you will be the first. Everybody here will be the first to know, as always. The channel members, of course, will get posted on the community tab, so you'll see the first ones, what buys, what sells, all that good stuff. So you keep tuned for that once that gets over there. And other than that, happy investing, everybody. I think sorry, excuse me. We was mentioned in the comments. We probably looks like a bit of red for a little bit, but we'll have to see how things go. Look at some opportunity and some things for that, and we'll go. Flights to BC Alberta are really cheap. $250 round trip. Anything else expensive? Yeah, it can be. Canadian flights can be expensive. That's for sure. You can sometimes find some good deals, but then sometimes you just, if it's short, if you're booking in the short term, it's like it costs a fortune. It's unfortunate, but thanks, Vic. Yeah, nothing beats update 15. It's all good, right? Yeah. Well, there's some new ones out there for everybody to watch. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. My phone just buzzed here. I can look on the corner. I have emails here. Busy day at work today, which is always good. It means I can make some money and be able to invest into my TFSA. So hopefully everybody else keeps busy. Thanks for tuning in. I'll have the tomorrow's live stream posted on the channel later on today, so you can get notified of that. Turn on the notification bell, hit the like, all that good YouTube stuff. If you haven't hit the like button yet, we've got 10, 11, 12 people watching. Hit the like before you head out, and we will catch you all in the next one. Really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, and happy investing.